Right everyone, welcome back to another episode of the F124 Driver Career Mode with Williams. It was episode number 7 today for the Canadian Grand Prix of Season 1. If you missed the previous episode at Monaco, then I recommend you go and check that one out before seeing this one, because, spoiler alert, yeah, it was a P10, it was a good result after some previously disappointing results, but overall, another pit stop error cost me more points from Williams. So, yeah. Moving to R&D, there is an upgrade that is available. Well, not almost available, but the rear downforce as well has got a lot of front downforce is the one I really want. But nothing that I can actually purchase with 485 resource points. So I'm going to say those for Austria round number 8 as well. Sauber have bought an upgrade to try and close the gap, as I think that's also an upgrade for, no, not an upgrade for AlphaTauri, an upgrade for Ferrari. Red Bull being a slight upgrade to move ahead in McLaren as well as Ferrari, Mercedes being an upgrade. So a few upgrades there, but nothing really major. As of course, it is now time for qualifying.
Time to go qualifying in Canada. A historic track. Looks simple, it's anything but. Welcome to Montreal.
Yes, it's that time of the year where I forget to change the components between practice and qualifying. So yes, I'm going to change 2. It will give me 1 run. If this run is terrible, then I'll just check to take a new engine anyway. I've been looking for a slot to take a new engine anyway, because some of the components are actually getting a bit worn, even on the base level. Although I'd have liked to have had that challenge, but nevertheless, that's what I'm going to do. As well as I come through the first sector, slightly slower than Joe. Verstappen's on a 10.4. As well, unlike what he managed to struggle like in real life, of course. This is expected to go even faster at this weekend's Spanish Grand Prix. As well, although it wasn't like that in FP1. But yes, anyway, enough about that. As we move to the second sector, 10.5 down on now Magnussen's time. Not great, to be honest. Don't want to be 10.5 down on Magnussen's time. I want to be up on him, because that I want to be trying to be around there or thereabouts with Albon, who should be around P13. You know, if we can get around there, then I'll be happy. That's something that I can then work on for the race and try and get some points through. Then the final type of section, keep to the right to keep the absolute shortest line up to the line. And it's only a 1 minute 11.3, which is only good enough for P17. Yeah, Verstappen and Perez there, 1-2, McLaren 3-4, so McLaren's still there. Alonso taking the Aston Martin above Mercedes and Ferrari, so yes, for us, not too far behind Albon, but it's a few tenths is a few costly here. So, well, yes, we'll have to see what we can do then from what will be not 17th on the grid, because I'm going to take that full engine. As well, especially around here, you know, it is a short lap, there are some straights, and this will probably help us later down the line as well. So that's what I'm going to do. It will probably mean us starting from the back of the grid. So yes, let's head to the grid.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. 2.7 mile circuit peaking at around 190 miles per hour, 2 DRS zones, 14 turns, tight corners, a narrow track, and the famous Wall of Champions. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Tsunoda, Gasly, Ricciardo, Albon, Ocon, Joe, Phoenix, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Bottas, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside us for this one is Naomi Schiff. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves. They do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
So we are down the grid. Yeah, the game has got a bug, so that it doesn't apply penalties to the player, only to the AI. As well. Here's me playing about with the strategy as well, but it looks like medium hard is the way to go around here. So 5 red lights then for the Canadian Grand Prix from 16th on the grid, and away we go. And it's a good, well, it's an okay start. Can I get in the front of Gio? Going to switch to the left hand side. Block Magnussen, dart on the inside. Can I get 2 Alpha Tauris? No, I can't. We're going to have to go around the outside then and turn 2 of the 2 Alpha Tauris. I'm going to get one of them at least. That's Ricciardo, the looks of the helmet as well. Ricciardo's the inside. I'm going to take the outside line, the racing line, to swoop through and take the position away from us, the Australian. And then at the other hairpin, we're going to get the other AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda, move up to P11. So it's from where I was down in P16, it is actually a good start. This is a textbook dive bomb at the hairpin, especially in these early laps. Got to make most of it. As well before they start to spread out. Up at the front though, it's Sergio Perez who leads the early way from Max Verstappen. Perez getting the better launch off the line. Alonso has jumped Piastri, but both McLarens on hard tyres at this moment in time, the only ones. But Perez, he's pulling off to the left hand side. Is that Perez out of the race? He's going slowly, he's pulled off, and Sergio Perez, after taking the lead, is out the race on lap 2. A shame for him as well. That's going to bring us into the points as well. And I'm going to blast past Pierre Gasly. None of these him slow me up like he did at Monaco in the previous episode as well. And up at the road, you can see the 2 McLarens there. Confirmation on the hard tyres. And they are going quite a bit slower than everyone else. So they are causing a few trains as well. Piastri is definitely going slower than Norris, as Gasly had a go at me there through the 3rd DRS zone. Nothing allowing him to get past, and that's why I want to try and get him out DRS into the path of Tsunoda as well. But of course, the 2 Mercedes are now battling. Instead of getting past Piastri, they're battling each other, which is not what Toto wants. And I believe that is Russell keeping the position ahead of Lewis Hamilton as well. And that's Alonso getting past Norris for P2. So Verstappen still leads. It's now Alonso from Norris as well, and Russell now down the inside at turn 1 into the outside line to turn 2. Can he get in front of Piastri? Sat behind him long enough. Should he be able to out traction him? And he has done as well. But Russell locks up. He has a huge lock up there, and he's going to lose 3 positions, not only to his teammate but also to one of the Ferraris, as Charles Leclerc as well. And all this battling's allowed me to catch up. Gasly, of course, is in the world's slowest car in a straight line, even so that Alpine are considering and being a customer from 2026 onwards as well. But nothing really able to get past us at the moment in time, as Verstappen is just running away as he usually does in some of these races as well. Norris, to be fair to him, is hanging on to the back of Alonso. Shows that Aston may not be as fast as the McLaren. Interesting to see when the McLaren goes on to the softer compound the second half of the race. Although now it is Hamilton, he's having a go with Piastri, but nothing really doing there. Hamilton will eventually get, but they are in front of Piastri, but they are swap positions. And I've decided for a little bit of an undercut on lap 10. The left rear was approaching 25%. We did have an objective to overtake Sainz before lap 14, but I decided to ignore that and just said we're going to come in as well. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, finally, a good pit stop on F124 driver career mode for me as well. It has been horrendous, and that undercut's going to work a treat, because that's not Sainz, that's Leclerc as well. Excuse me, going to go side by side with Leclerc, and he's out trashing me. What a surprise. So that's bye-bye Leclerc. But it's going to be not all at the end, because there's Gasly. Gasly has jumped Russell and Sainz. Sainz has had a terrible pit stop. He's behind Albon, and I think he's going to be behind Tsunoda as well. So not a great stop from Sainz there, as Gasly's out to go, so much so that Russell, I think, is going to get in front as well. They're going to go side by side down the pit start finish straight. Russell will have the inside line on Gasly as well. Ocon somehow managed to get up there now, as well as Sainz has overtaken the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda as well. But this is for P7. This is legitimately where I am. This could be, in my, excluding the sprints, the best result of the season, as well as Russell. Well, he took the inside line, and he took the inside line, and it was just so easy to just go round the outside of him. He just got scared, and just just got scared to go side by side with that corner as well. This is I'm gonna fight for my life to keep P7. And then the McLarens, they are flying. Piastri is now caught up to Charles Leclerc. He pitted later, of course, as did Lando Norris as well. They're on a set of medium tyres now to the end of this race. So Leclerc and Piastri swapping positions there as well. Russell having a go at me. I preferred Gasly behind, because we all know how slow the Alpine rides in the straight line. Leclerc is going to be a nuisance to Piastri and get back in front into P5, so that's really annoying for the Australian there. But further up the road, Lando Norris, he's flying. He's got parts back Fernando Alonso, and he's hunting Max Verstappen for a second race win of the season, as well. And that is Piastri getting back in front of Leclerc. Hamilton is just there. So yeah, they are both. Piastri and Leclerc are bringing Hamilton. I've got George Russell over the back of him. Again, he's not taking the racing line. It's the perfect defence through that corner to keep that position. And Russell, he's going to have another lock-up as well. And that's going to be behind both Alpines. So, yet another miserable race for Russell, as he's behind the two of the slowest cars on the grid, but then so is half the grid, because they are 8th and 9th now. How is Ocon as well, has come out of nowhere? So, yes. Up at the front, though, that's Norris taking the lead from Max Verstappen. So, Lando Norris, this has worked beautifully for McLaren and Lando Norris, and Norris takes the lead then at the Canadian Grand Prix. As well. A long way behind, we've got watching Kevin Magnussen. He's at the back of the train, and he's had a spinala, and he might have rear diffuser damage as well from that. But fortunately, no red flag, unlike in the earlier video when Alonso had his spinala. But anyway, Gasly, it's a lot easier to defend as well, because they don't have the confidence to go past that. Alpine's a much slower car than the Mercedes as well. Piastri, though, he's got in front of Hamilton now, and he's chasing Alonso, so he could get a podium despite being dreadful in the first part of this race. This could work an absolute treat for McLaren. And there, on the final corner, on the final lap, Piastri takes the podium away from Alonso to be 1-3 for McLaren, with Lando Norris picking up his second Grand Prix victory of the season. We're going to hold on for P7 and ahead of both Alpines to match what they managed to score as well. It's P7 in Grand Prix races. It's the best result of the season. I will definitely take that as well. Drive of the day as well. I would have liked a bit more pace, but that's where this car is at this moment in time. P7 is probably the maximum today. The top 6 really didn't have much. Russell if he didn't lock up those few times, he wouldn't come out behind us. Science as well was a bit useless. In the end, Magnussen got a 10-second penalty in the end for his Spinala. So, yes, Albon missed out on points, so not good for him. 13.1 my fastest time, just showing that I didn't have the pace. Russell a 12.7. So I did match Sainz's fastest time as well, although we were all stopped behind Piastri. So that's a huge leap of points. Takes me up to 16 points for this season now. I need 19 to win the rivalry with Stroll. None of the, Gasly moves ahead, and Alpine are somehow 7th as well, ahead of Sauber in 8th. Somehow AlphaTauri and Haas, who have scored lots of points in real life, haven't scored at all in this career mode. In terms of my rating experience, racecraft is now up to 72. I believe that is still glitched. And awareness up quite a bit as well. Focus is up a lot. So I'm almost at the 70 rated that we had the target. So whether or not Williams will review that, although I believe the review date is glitched as well. In a 16 race career mode, because it's in December after the end of the season. In terms of recognition, that has stayed on 45-55. So yeah, I'm not going to get that second R&D secret upgrade as well. But I didn't get the power unit, but everything else as well. And the wind tunnel's been upgraded as well, so we get some extra reliability stuff as well. So, yes, well, that is where I'm going to leave it today's video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F124 Driver Crew Mode and other F124 gameplay videos as when they come out. Until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, if you enjoy your day, and goodbye.